as well as those of you who are viewing virtually. So welcome, and we are just excited that you've joined us today. Job Club, and we'll advance these slides. I think we're having that done. Our agenda is very familiar to most of you. We will give success stories. We have a main speaker. We're sharing lots of active job leads as well as partner updates, and we'll tell you about next time at Job Club. Our mission is to provide a positive environment for job seekers to network and to learn best practices for the job search. We meet on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month. And you can find our schedule of topics at our website, which is at www.ukalumni.net/job club. So check out that website to see what's all of our sessions that are going to take place this summer, as well as our fall schedule will soon be up. Now, if you are joining us virtually, we'd love to hear where you are viewing from. So take a moment in the chat box and toggle to everyone and make sure that you tell us where you're viewing from today. We always like to know that. It just gives us an idea of the outreach and just who is joining us on each and every session. I wanted to introduce you to our Job Club facilitators. This is our team, and we rely heavily on this team to present each and every session. I'm Diana Doggett. I'm an extension specialist with the UK Cooperative Extension Service. We have Caroline Francis. She is the Director of Alumni Services and at UK Alumni Association. Nicole Wake is an employment specialist with the UK STEPS, and she's with temporary employment. We also want to include and show our appreciation to Suzanne Smith, Sunny Saylor at the Extension Office here at Fayette County, as well as Queen Sullivan and Christy Kaufman and Lindsay. Job Club is currently hosted in a hybrid format, as I mentioned earlier. And so that means that we're in virtual, we're in person, but we also are on Facebook Live. So if you are viewing us there, we do want to mention that we don't have a chat moderator on Facebook Live. We just have our view only. But if you're viewing us from Zoom webinar, then that chat box is moderated and you can post your questions, your comments, and again, anything that you would like to share. We always mention that we have the free Job Club resource packet, and it's online. There's just an array of resources in that packet. So at any one time that you're in need of additional information and resources, we hope that you'll go there and review it, check it out, see what might benefit you. Definitely, we emphasize the importance of joining the Central Kentucky Job Club sharing community on LinkedIn. This is a site that you can stay connected during the interim of when we're not meeting during those 2 weeks. We post job leads, resource articles, other individuals will post those job leads or just relevant information. So we really want you to participate, and you'll be extremely pleased when you see everyone that does belong to that LinkedIn. We also welcome employers and recruiters, and we invite you to share job leads that you have and want to present. So we'll give you a 1-minute spotlight, and you could share that active job lead at the conclusion of our program today. So just raise your hand and we will allow you to do that. Watch your email later today for job leads that have been sent to us. They will be listed, and there will be quite a few of those. So we update those each and every newsletter presentation, so you can look forward to that later on this afternoon. we do always recognize the fact that some employees are doing a confidential job search. So let's be respectful of that privacy and make sure that we regard that each and every time we meet. Again, check out our job search related articles in our job club reminder email. And most importantly, we do record and we do have these presentations available to you, the slides and the recordings, and they're available at www.ukalumni.net/job club. So if there's a particular subject, some topic that you want a refresher on, you're probably not going to just find one, but up to 3 or 4 versions and introspectives of that topic where we've had our various presenters. We always want to welcome our first timers, and that's always just a real thrill to know that you have found Job Club. We like to know how you learned about it. So in the chat box, please tell us how you even happen to be with us and joining us today. We do want to remind you that you will receive a follow-up survey later today. It's really short, but it's very important. It's once you fill that out, we will place you in our notification program and system for future notification. So it's really, really important that we get you into that so we can tell you about all of our upcoming programs and sessions and any opportunities that you might benefit from. You can scan the QR code on the screen, or you can simply wait till that survey comes out to you this afternoon. Success stories. That has a lot of meaning, and we always remind that each and every session to tell you that it's just not the end of the journey, the capture of the job and the announcement that you have employment, but it's the process. And that's what's meaningful. And we know that when you look back at any job search, there's so much that happened along the way. So if you have something you want to just share to motivate others today, put that in the chat box. Let us know if you've got an interview coming up. Perhaps you've updated your resume, or you've reached out and your network has been expanded. You've joined LinkedIn. I mean, there are just so many aspects to what we consider a success story that we would love to just applaud you in that effort. So, do we have any success stories that we want to announce that's in our audience today, Fayette? Not quite yet. Yeah, we do have one. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get a mic here. Yeah, it's on.
Hello. Oh, I won't self-aggrandize too much, but I'll be at an open house this Friday to work as one day a week at a wellness clinic as a nutritionist there. And based upon the interview I'll have Thursday this week, I'll either be working with Louisville Behavioral Health or at a GNC on Springhurst. I'll be the manager there. So that's what I got going on.
Oh.
Thank you.
Sam has been joining us in person, and we've been following his career search path. So it's exciting to hear about those developments. We're really excited for Sam. Any online that we would like to share? Okay, make sure. Usually they come in a little later when we just want to remind you how motivating it is, inspirational to others to know that the successes do come along the way. We do have another job success story employment announcement to make, but we don't have the written testimonial. So we're going to wait till next time. We won't even announce it yet. We'll let her put it in her own words, but we are excited to know that one of our attendees has secured employment. Well, today, our presenter is no secret but she may be to you. She certainly isn't to the Job Club team. And Queen-Ayanna Sullivan is behind the scenes of Job Club all the way. She presents our slide deck. She is just the one that is communicating to our speakers each and every week. But most importantly, she is just a wealth of knowledge in the field of career consulting. And so, Queen, you don't often present. You often just tell tell us what to do and what topics that we need to investigate in our presentations. But we are excited to have you actually present today. And she is a career counselor with the Alumni Career Services at the University of Kentucky. Queen, I'm going to let you tell a little bit about your background and let you take it from here and share today about this very important component of a job search, and that's your resume. Welcome, Queen Sullivan.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Queen-Ayanna Sullivan. And I am, of course, a career counselor here with Alumni Career Services. I graduated from the University of Kentucky in 2019 and 2021. My bachelor's degrees are in psychology and communication, double majoring, and my master's degree is in counseling psychology. I am also a rising third-year counseling psychology doctoral student at Radford University in Radford, Virginia. So I am a remote employee. I do a lot of, like Diana said, behind-the-scenes stuff, but I am excited to be here, and I am also a certified career counselor. So if anyone is interested in any career services through the Alumni Association, I am one of the people that you may be meeting with for a variety of subjects, including resume reviews like we're talking about today, job search strategies, LinkedIn reviews, assessment interpretation, things of that nature. So very exciting things, and I am excited to be talking to you all today. So as I previously said, we will be talking about how to write a job-winning resume today. This is something that people often don't think about a lot, but it is so important to our job search process. And we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of what does this look like for you and how can we make sure that your documents are looking amazing. So just a few funny things that we have actually seen here at Alumni Career Services that we want to share with you all. One applicant actually wrote whorehouse instead of warehouse for where they were working. An applicant claimed to have worked in a jail when they were actually serving time, which is concerning. We want to be honest and transparent in our documentation. One applicant said that they held a driving position for around 10 years and had that experience, but they had only had their license for 4 years. People do fact check that, so we want to make sure that we're being honest again. Someone said that they had a career break in 2014 to renovate their horse. A very easy typo that we should have caught, or that they should have caught, excuse me. A woman said that she sent her resume and cover letter to someone else, and she had sent it previously to someone else to review it. That reviewer actually said, I don't think you want to say this about yourself, but she didn't catch that, and she sent off her documents too quickly without actually reviewing it and removing that line. Someone said that they were seeking a part-time position for potential advancement instead of part-time. And then another person said that their reason for leaving their last position was maturity leave. These are just some of the examples of why it is so important for people to review their documents a few times and then also share it with a career professional to have another set of eyes on it to make sure that we are catching these small little typos that can have some negative repercussions. So when it comes to your resume, this is such an important piece of document in your job search process that we want to be aware of. It is something that is required for almost all job applications. Is a self-marketing tool. We want to make sure that you are selling your best version of yourself. And this is important because in general, when someone receives a resume, they only spend 4 to 7 seconds doing an initial glance, trying to figure out, is this important? Do I think this person would fit the job needs? Should I spend more time reviewing it? And today we're going to talk about how to make sure that that the answer to that question is yes. I think that I want my materials reviewed and this is how I can get it done. When it comes to resumes, there are typically two formats that we see most commonly. This is reverse chronological and functional. Chronological resumes are typically more common than functional. They are most recent back in time, so your most recent position is at the top, whereas functional resumes focus to serve your transferable skills, things like that. If there's certain type of skill sets, this is also something that is common for people that are maybe in different positions in their life. So maybe engaging in encore careers or things of that nature. And I'm going to explain more what that means. So again, with our chronological resume, we want to start by looking at your most recent or most current position. That should be at the very top of your document. So people can see, who is this person? What have they been doing? What is their area of expertise? Your jobs are going to go from the top and then reverse back. So your most recent, your first position should be at the bottom. So they can kind of see what is the order of this person's work history. Employers typically prefer this type of resume because it's easy to follow. It's very clear. It's very, boom, boom, boom. This is what this person has done in their life. A functional resume, again, focuses on those transferable skills. This can include hard skills, such as learning certain types of programming or software, things like that. But this can also be transferable soft skills. So this may look like communication skills. This may look like being able to engage in conflict management, things like that. It's important that this is targeted towards whatever position that you are applying to. So if you have worked in computer development for the past 20 years, but you're applying for a job in something that's more human services based, it's important to think about, okay, does this make sense for me to include on there? Does that skill align to what I'm looking for right now? As I said previously, this is common for people that may have taken time off of the workforce to take care of an elderly parent or to raise children. It's also common for people engaging in encore careers. So maybe they worked in one field or industry for the past 20 years and they want to do something completely different now that they can retire, or that now that they're in a position to pursue something that they're passionate about. So these are some tips about resume writing that we don't always keep up with. That's important to know. So you want to tailor your resume for each position and make it keyword rich. Those keywords make a huge difference in your documentation, and I'm going to specifically talk about that in a minute. We want to keep our documents short. So 2 pages maximum, no matter if you are straight out of undergrad or if you've been in the field for 10 years. We want to make sure that we are concise in our writing to make sure that people are getting the most important information possible. What do people absolutely need to know about you and your work experience? With that, we only want to include the most recent years of experience. So that means 10 to 15. Anything older than 15 years, we don't want to delete it completely. We want to hold on to that in a separate document and make sure that we have it readily available if it's asked upon. But in general, we don't tend to see that on our resume. It's important to remember, like I said, 4 to 7 seconds. People are quickly skimming that document. So what is most important for them to know? And with that, people are reading in chunks. They're not reading in large paragraphs or large texts that take up an entire page. So we want to make it pop. What is most important? Playing with different things on our resume to make sure that what is first is what's going to be read. And how does that align to what you're applying for? When it comes to paragraphs, we have 2 to 4 lines max. Bullet points, no more than 3 to 5. And some white space is good. And I'm going to provide some examples of what this means specifically. So coming back to those keywords, what this means is looking at what you have on your documents compared to what people are saying in the field. So what are people actually saying online when it comes to a program development position or when it comes to a marketing position? And how we find that out are websites like this. JobScan, TagCrowd, Onet, great free resources that anyone can use. And so this will help you brainstorm key industry words to figure out what people are saying when it comes to this position. What's popping up? What's most popular? So it's going to look at the job boards and it's going to scan for those keywords and pull them for you. And on the next few slides, I have examples from JobScan and TagCrowd specifically. Another great resource is LinkedIn. So we know that LinkedIn works with a format and it has its own program going on. And so within that, the more that you plug in about who you are and what your work experience is, the more that it's going to learn about you. So when you go to the job function on LinkedIn and you're seeing what types of jobs it's pulling for you, it's also pulling in those keywords. You're able to see what are people saying about a career counselor position? What are some of the keywords associated with that? Here's an example from TagCrowd. So this position is a manager at a manufacturing operations company at GE. And some of the keywords associated with that position are manufacturing, production, team, ensure, work, safety, area, improvement, things like that. The larger the words are, the more popular they are. And so that means that's the type of word you want to include on your documents. The smaller the words are, people are still using them, but not as much. And so again, thinking about where can we plug and chug those words to make sure that you're getting some points and things like that. JobScan, here is another great example. So what this is doing is it's using a system that scans your document that you've uploaded, but also scans the job description. And it's looking for the overlap between the two. What is the similarities? And so it's looking at the applicant tracking system, or an ATS right here on this first line. We can see it's looking at, okay, is that person working? Is that person gonna get in their foot in the door? Because oftentimes if we are using job boards like LinkedIn, Indeed, things like that, it's using an applicant tracking system. And so it's scanning for that overlap. The more overlap you have, the more points that you get. The more points that you get, the more likely your document is to be pulled and reviewed by a real person. So we want to get you as many points as possible. It's looking at the recruiter findings, the skills match, the formatting, all those things, because we want to have a good amount of overlap. Not 100% because we don't want to plagiarize, but a good amount to where someone's actually going to review your materials. Okay, so now jumping actually into our documents. So with your contact information, this is the first thing that's on your resume. This is the first thing that someone is going to see and read whenever they receive what you have uploaded or what you have handed in. And so we want to make sure that it is clear, concise, and to the point. Your name should be the largest thing on the document, and everything else besides that should be the same size font. We want to make sure that we have your phone number, we have your email address, we have your LinkedIn URL. The phone number, not the phone number, excuse me. The email address and the LinkedIn URL should be hyperlinked because it makes it easier for that employer to click on it, get to you, and we want to make it as easy as possible for our reader. It's also common to see our geographic location in our contact information. This can be helpful for people that are trying to show that, I'm local and I want to stay here. And so we can see in Chase's example, he says that he is in Lexington, Kentucky. It's not hard to do, but you can include that. And then another thing that we don't typically see anymore is a physical address. And that is because many people are not sending physical mail anymore. And so you don't really need to include your 100% street address. So kind of coming back to that applicant tracking system that I was briefly mentioning before, we want to include some relevant information in your professional summary. This entire section is dedicated to getting you points in that applicant tracking system, or that ATS. And so we want to include some relevant information that the employer should know about you. What makes you stand out? What did you do that was amazing, that was phenomenal, that relates to the job that you're actively applying for? You want to talk about what you've been recognized for, what you have a reputation of, a track record for, anything like that. And so here's an example of what I mean. We see that senior sales manager. That's the job that Chase is applying to. It says that he is a top performing sales professional with 11 years of experience. And right here, we see those keywords. So product launch, sales team development, contract negotiation, all of those are related to the job that he's applying to that he has experience in. And so he can speak to it if somebody were to say, hey, you say that you have experience in closing sales. Can you tell me a little bit more about that in detail? What's an example? Here's another example. So this is for a functional resume, whereas the last one was for chronological. And in this one, it's operations, logistics, and supply chain. Chase is applying for a job, and he's still, again, highlighting the fact that he has over 11 years of experience and progressive experience with logistics and supply chain management. It's just formatted a little bit differently, but we see some of those keywords, again, coming in for that type of job industry that he's applying for. Leadership, project management, quality assurance, contract negotiation. So while there's some overlap, we have massaged it a little bit so that way it fits better for what he wants to portray about himself. So moving on to our next section, professional experience. It's important that we are concise, we are accomplishment oriented in our bullet point statements, and we begin all of our statements with action verbs. If you are no longer doing that job, that action word should be in the past tense. When possible, we want to use those hard numbers because those hard numbers catch the reader's eye first, and it's going to pull that reader to that section. So you led a team, you managed a team. Was that team 2 people? Was it 200 people? Was it 20 people? You were able to increase sales. Was it by $50? Was it by $500? Things like that. We want to add those hard numbers in when possible. While again, being appropriate in what we're saying to make sure that we have documentation to back it up if that is ever requested. We also want to focus on our big picture story and our results and accomplishments, not our day-to-day tasks, responsibilities, duties. And that's because if somebody wanted to know that information, they could very easily just go ahead and Google it and say, hey, what does a supply manager do? You can find that pretty easily. We want to focus on what did you do that was amazing, that really made you stand out from other people that have held that position before. And right now I am sharing some examples of those action verbs because they're so important. So things like advised, predicted, helped, influenced, strengthened, streamlined, expanded. These are all found in our first timer packet that we share with our clients. So that way you all have access to this resource. We want to make sure that we have a lot of variety in our action words that we're using, because if you're constantly starting sentences with the same word over and over again, people are going to think that you're repeating yourself and they're less likely to actually read it. Here are some other action verbs that people can use. So conceived, commanded, believed, bestowed, advised, advocated. Marketed, equitized, detailed, detected, drafted, driven. Selected, secured, perfected, responded, reported, wrote, trimmed, things like that. These are all super important words that we can use to convey what you did that makes it stand out in a way that is unique to you. Also, when it comes to your bullet point writing, we have these things called resume boosters that can help you. And it's more of like a self-reflective activity. So if you're having a hard time writing your bullet points, these are some questions that you can ask yourself that can prompt some ideas. What types of problems did you solve? Did you increase or generate any changes in the organization? Did you save the company any money? Did you have responsibility for special projects? Were you able to pitch your own ideas and lead those projects? Do you have experience training or supervising other people? If so, again, how many? Those hard numbers. And did you receive any types of awards or certifications related to your position? If so, we definitely want to talk about that. If you received a promotion, how quickly did you receive that promotion? Things like that. Again, within our first timer packet, these are some of the questions that we share with our clients to help you come up with those strong bullet points. So, what are some of those fill in the blanks, things that are extraordinary, things that you did that maybe weren't even asked of you, that you want to highlight and that were perceived well and that were recognized? So when it comes to formatting, there are a few different options that we can choose, and we're going to walk through some of them today. But it's important to choose what is most appropriate for you and your job search goals. Big takeaway: do not use a template. We do not recommend a template for a variety of reasons. It will save you so much time in the long run. Do not use a template. One reason we do not use templates is because they're hard to update over time. So they can become outdated. And when you're trying to, again, you update it as you go, it's just hard. They mess up. They don't typically tend to update in Microsoft Word or things like that. And so that can become a headache very easily. Another reason why we don't use templates is because when you email them to people, the formatting can mess up. Even if you send it as a PDF, there have been instances where clients have shared their documents with me and it looks completely different on my end than when it looks on their end. And you always want to practice sharing your documents with someone else prior to actually uploading them for a job to make sure that things are staying how you wanted them to or how you plan for them to. So here is one option for a sample format. We have our company name, city, state. Years are always on the right-hand alignment. So whenever it comes to anything on your document, your education, your work experience, additional trainings, they're always on the right-hand alignment because it makes it easier for your reader to see it and go down that line of, okay, this is what this person's work history is. It's easy for them to see how long you've held positions, if you're a career changer, or if you are able to stay loyal to an organization, things like that. So you put, if you want to include a line about the company and scope of your responsibility, you can, you don't have to. But you put the name of the position and then your accomplishments, like we talked about, those strong bullet points. Again, not simply listing the duties and responsibilities, using those hard numbers when we can. This section here is something that I tend to see a lot with clients that I always say, we want to be wary of how much we are italicizing things, how much we are bolding things, underlining different sections, because we don't want our reader's eye to fight for what's most important on the page. And so if you have a lot going on there, it's going to confuse the eye and someone might get overwhelmed and just flip through it. Like I said, 4 to 7 seconds, they're trying to decide, should I read this, should I not? So we want to make it as easy as possible. Okay, so if you have received promotions, like I said before, we really want to highlight that on your documents. And so what this will look like is having the company name, the city and the state, the date, the overall years of employment on the right-hand side. And then underneath that, we have title of your most recent position at the top, title of the position prior to that below it. And then you have those bullet points. Accomplishment statements, bullet points, promoted within X amount of time for exceeding company goals and standards, expectations, any way that you want to phrase it. And in parentheses, you can put specifically what that promotion time looked like or how long you've been in that role. So over here on the right-hand side, this may look like 2006 to 2012. Maybe you were at that position for 6 years, but you were in this most recent position for maybe a year and a half or 2 years. And this position before it, maybe you held that for 4 years. That's how you distinguish what you were doing within that time frame. Also, by stacking this like that, you're able to save space on your document, which will help you stay onto those 2 pages. Okay, so now we're switching back to that functional resume. I know I talked about it and we've been doing it a few times. The past 2 examples for chronological resumes. Now with the functional resume, this is how you might format your relevant transferable skills. So in this example right here, we have 3 big skills: project management, sales and marketing, and then cost reduction and avoidance. Those are the skills that are appropriate for the job that you're applying for. And you're going to put 3-ish bullet points about, okay, this is how it relates to the job that I'm applying to. This is what experience I have. This is where it comes from, things like that. Then underneath that, you're going to put your professional experience, the title, position, company name. So this professional experience right here at the bottom, that could be the job that you currently have or the most recent position that you have that's not really related to the one that you're seeking right now. This is how you would convey, well, yes, I'm still working, and yes, I have a job, but I actually want to do something different. And this is why I'm still qualified to do this new thing. And then, excuse me, here is another example for someone that has early career experience that's more relevant to the target position. So an example of this, say someone straight out of undergrad wanted to work at a women's resource center, and they were in that women's resource center for maybe like 4 years, and then they realized that they had a new opportunity in marketing. And so they went on to work in marketing for the next 14 years of their career. They did it. It was fine. It was great. They had a lot of promotions, but it wasn't really fulfilling. And so now they want to go back and work at a women's resource center. This is how you would organize that. This person would put at the very top of their document that first experience that they had out of undergrad working in that women's resource center. What did they do? Were they a community advocate? Were they someone that was working hands on the ground? Were they working in raising funds for the organization? Things like that. So they would highlight that right here, those accomplishment statements. And then underneath it, they would put, oh, yes, I worked in marketing for the past 14 years. This is how I've been spending my time. And so at the top, you could say, this is what's relevant and transferable. But at the bottom, this is what I've been doing most recently. For your education section, we have some options. So the first option, school, city, state, degree. If you have more than one degree, option 2 might be better for you because it's able to save you some space by putting the degree, comma, school, city, state. For your education section, if you're a recent graduate, this is actually at the very top of your document, and it's formatted that way because it's able to make sense or explain why you may not have as much work experience. So that way people aren't wondering, oh, this is confusing. You know, why has this person only been working for 3 years? If you've graduated more than 5 years ago, you are going to drop your education section down to the bottom of your document underneath your work experience, and you're actually going to get rid of those years. And that's because we do not want our clients facing any type of age discrimination while going through the job search process. So again, a lot of information, and we are still trying to stick on to 2 pages. But sometimes we find people who they only have that 1 page, or they are trying to figure out what are some other ways that I can sell myself? What are some other ways that I can share information with 2 employers about who I am as a person? These are these additional resume sections that you can include. So in addition to your education section, you can include information about additional trainings or licensure or certifications that you received. If you have an extensive amount of them, you can actually create a section in its own specifically for that. You can talk about any type of community engagement or community service that you've engaged in, any type of leadership or board positions, professional development. Also, professional affiliations. If you are paying for membership in any type of professional organization, we want to highlight that. For me, that's going to look like the American Psychological Association, APA, as a counseling psychologist in training. I am getting involved in my field, and so I want people to know that. It helps with networking. Continuing education is important. We want to include that on there. Any type of hard computer skills. If you're not able to include that in your bullet points, like I said, special things that you have that other people typically don't, you can create its own section. If you speak multiple languages, that's something that we definitely want to highlight. If you have any type of testimonials, honors or awards, or any type of prior career highlights, we definitely want to highlight that on your documents. I've talked all about the yeses. Now let's talk about the nos for a second. Again, we do not want to use those templates. They're not great. We should be using a blank Word document every single time. An objective statement. So we talked about our applicant tracking systems. We talked about our professional summaries. We don't typically see objective statements anymore, and they can age you. So we don't want to see that on your documents, just to save you some headache. We don't send out the same resume to every single employer. We want to be making those specific critiques so that way it's specific to the position. It's tedious, and also the intentionality can save you in the long end. Again, we don't want to just list our job responsibilities and duties. We want to talk about what makes you stellar, what makes you amazing, what makes you stand out. And we don't want to include general statements. No lengthy paragraphs. People are not going to read it. We want to make sure we're making it easy for our reader. We're not including all of our work experience. We're also not using personal pronouns. So me, my, our. We want to keep it third person, pretty removed. Graduation dates and other personal information, graduation dates over 5 years, and any type of personal information. So marital status, age, children, employers don't need to know this. And there have been quite a few clients who maybe I've been doing a mock interview with, and they're telling employers, oh yeah, I just recently got married. While that may seem like an amazing, exciting accomplishment for you, that can lead to questions that we don't necessarily want while we're going through our job search process. Like, oh, are you taking time off for your honeymoon? Are you thinking about starting a family? Will you need other accommodations? And while people can't ask these questions abruptly, because it's inappropriate, it can segue to that, and we don't want to open that door. And then also references available upon request. So we don't typically see this on our documents anymore. What we do instead is we have our references readily available in a separate document that we can send to employers if it is requested. So some things that can also aid you while going through the job search process. We don't use an AOL or Hotmail anymore. Typically, we see people using Gmail, Outlook, things like that. Omitting your LinkedIn URL address. So if you just don't have one on there, that can also kind of be a hindrance. LinkedIn is great because while our resume is going to have the most recent experience, so 10 to 15 years, LinkedIn can include more if you would like it to. And so that's the place where you can highlight more work experience if you want. Using phrases such as responsible for, we want to, again, use action words that are going to get us interested readers, make it something that's going to pull our reader in. And then using the salutations such as to whom it may concern, dear sir or madam, dear hiring official, dear hiring committee, things like that, using their name if you're able to find it. That's how you want to address your documents instead. We have a checklist here that is going to help break down everything I said. I threw a lot of information at you all, and it is okay, but it can be a lot. And so this is a really nice checklist that we found. It is not an Alumni Career Services resource, but it is one that can help you make sure that you are going through all those different steps that I mentioned today. And then some final tips. So focus on what is most important for you. As a reminder, 4 to 7 seconds, big picture. What is standing out about you? What do you need people to know? What do you want people to know? Regularly update your resume and LinkedIn. I promise you it will be a lifesaver in the long run. Every time you get a new accomplishment, every time something happens, just take 2 seconds to go on there and make sure that everything looks good. This also helps you keep up to date with current trends. So checking in with yourself, but also checking in with another person and asking someone, hey, would you mind doing a review? Would you mind looking over it? Things like that. Double and triple check your documents, having another person reading them if possible, having your computer read it back to you. I love doing that. As a doctoral student, I am doing a lot of reading and writing. Right now, I'm in the midst of my comprehensive exams. So I am writing hundreds of pages and we get tired. And so having that computer read it back to you can help you so much in catching things that you may have never even thought of. It sounds right to you because you're writing it and you're reading it, but having a third person, if you don't have a physical person, that helps. And then downloading Grammarly, it's a great free resource that can also fact check you, make sure that everything is looking good, everything is looking smooth. And then again, saving your resume as a PDF before sending it to an employer is definitely going to be helpful because that won't mess up your formatting. You all can do it, and we are here to help. And so with Alumni Career Services, if you join the Alumni Association, you can get up to 2 free appointments a year with me or anybody on our team. And so what that looks like is a $75 year donation to any type of organization at UK. It's up to you, whatever feels right. If you are a UK alum and you were involved in Greek life or in a sport or anything like that, if you make a donation, we can make sure that we are meeting you where you're at and helping you with whatever it may be. And here's some of our contact information. So we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Handshake, a lot of great resources, and we are located in person at 210 Malibu Drive. But as I said previously, I'm a remote employee. So if you have an appointment with me, we will be meeting on Zoom. And I also have a lot of availability in the mornings or later in the evenings, possibly even on the weekends, because I am a part-time employee in graduate school. So I'm happy to meet the needs of any working parents or things like that. Here's some other resources available for further engagement. So we have a link to our job club packet, and we also have a link to writing a resume that stands out. So resume writing trends change each year, and we're happy to help you stay up to date and make sure that your documents look fresh and ready to go out. Thank you all so much for your time today.
Alrighty, thank you, Queen. And I don't want to fail to give anyone a chance to ask any questions that you may have. You can certainly leave those questions in the chat if you would like, or if you have questions later, we could definitely get those questions to Queen-Ayanna. Sorry about that. Any questions at all?
Can you hear me on the mic here?
Okay, yeah.
2 questions. It might be helpful to go back to the relevant skills versus professional experience slide. But my question was, it seems like we were separating out, relevant skills from the professional experience and the functional parts. So do the relevant skills, the accomplishment statements for that, do they need to include the titles of the companies, or you just say what you did without referencing the company at all? Because it would be listed later. A few more.
Are you talking about this slide?
No, it was about halfway through, a little further back. One more. There we go. Yes, this one. It seems like, the professional experience, the companies are listed second in that second heading section. But the first one's the accomplishment statements. Do those reference any companies at all, or do you just say what you did without referencing the company you were at? Because we're separating them out, is my question.
Yes. So in the relevant skills section here at the top, you wouldn't necessarily put the name of the organization. That would go under the professional experience, where you can outline, oh, yes, this is where I was working. Right here, it's, say, for example, R. R is a skill within research that we use within statistics. And so if I was working for an organization and they trained me in R, I could choose where to put that. That would be most appropriate. It could go under the professional experience section when I'm working about, oh yeah, someone at this organization trained me on how to use R. But I could also say I'm competent in using R. And if somebody were to ask, I could say, oh yeah, I learned it at this organization. And so it's just about how you want to relay that information that best serves you, because you are the person that's going through the job search process, not whoever trained you at that organization.
So just to clarify, so the relevant skills, sales and marketing, you say, I increased sales by 15% over the 4th quarter. I don't know sales, but would you need to reference the company at that point, or you would just say that statement and they would find out later which company it might be?
So I think how to answer that is, I have experience in generating X amount of sales, excuse me. basically saying you have this experience through this organization. And so you could break it up, but it could also go either way. It's just about how you want to portray it. And it may look different for each position depending on how the organization is functioned. What does that job include you doing it? Does it include you working on a team? Does it include you working individually? That's going to impact how you want to outline it on your document.
Okay. And then my last question is a little more fun. I've asked some other people about this. I want to get your opinion about color in a resume. You know, presumably the URLs are going to be blue, but if you have a, you know, your name at the top, if that's a dark navy, or if some of your heading section titles have a shading that's like a taupe or like a beige taupe to them, not to stand out. Color in general, what do you think about that?
So for color, while we do see it, we don't want to get too wild with it. And we also want to be wary of what you're applying for. So if someone is entering a field that's more art-based or more creative-based, I'm thinking about website design, things like that, then color may be more appropriate. But if you're working or targeting, if you're trying to work for or trying to target an organization that's more traditional in its values, it may not be appropriate to include a whole bunch of color. If we are using color, we tend to see more of like a gray or blues, like navy blue, kind of like a mid blue, especially at UK. If people are using color in the documents, then we may see blue more often. If you're trying to target an organization known for their colors, it may be more appropriate to tap into their colors. And yes.
Okay, well, thank you.
I believe we did have a question online. It says, if you don't have the name of the manager you're submitting your documents to, how should you address your cover letter?
Dear hiring official or dear hiring committee.
Thank you. And next question is, how far back do you recommend to go with work experience, trying to avoid ageism?
10 to 15 years.
Thank you. I believe that's all the questions I see online.
Okay. Let's see here, we're catching up here. Okay, we're done with the Q&A. Okay, Queen, did you want to talk with them about the next few slides, and I'll hop in and talk more about steps? Okay. All right. Okay, well, I'll take over right here. Alrighty, so at this time, if we have any employers, I should say, whether you're online or in person, if you would like to share any active job leads, please make your way to the podium there in person, or once again, we'll give you a few moments here if you want to raise your hand. Okay, looks like we have someone that's raising their hand now, Lindsay. It's Krista Martin.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Krista here with Direct Employers Association. We're based out of Indianapolis, but we're currently hiring 2 sales engineers. There's also an opportunity for remote. I'll put that link in the chat. So if anybody has a background in product development, strong technical knowledge, sales and engineering, quality engineering, in that line of work, please apply or send your qualified candidates our way. We are hosting the Kentucky Career Center's Kentucky Career Portal as well for searching jobs, internships, apprenticeships, employers, etc. So I'll throw that link in the chat, along with the National Labor Exchange, which can also give you reach outside of Kentucky in your job search, and has options for veterans, individuals with disabilities, as well as virtual jobs only. So for those of you that are looking for virtual, remote, or work at home positions, that's a really fantastic resource to be able to search those. It is not a job board. So this isn't a LinkedIn or Indeed or Monster. So it's fully accessible. There's no dead end links, scams, ghost jobs, duplications, and frustrating things that you may be experiencing in your job search with the job board you're currently using. So definitely encourage you to check out the Kentucky Career Portal and the National Labor Exchange and join DE as a sales engineer.
And thank you very much, Krista, for those updates. So once again, we'll watch out for that in the chat, and we'll be sure to include that in our newsletter later today. All right, is there anyone else before we move forward to the next slide? I think that is it. So we'll go ahead and move forward. Okay, so Job Club facilitators, news and programs. See here. Oh, okay. We definitely do not want to fail to mention our Fayette County Corporate Extension Office, and this is where the where Job Club has been held in person today here in Fayette County. Be sure to contact or reach out to your local corporate extension office. We have these extension offices are located in all 120 counties here in Kentucky. So be sure to visit those about different programs available in your area. Alrighty, and once again, I'm Nicole Waite here with the University of Kentucky Human Resources STEPS Temporary Employment. So STEPS is a great way to get your foot in the door with the University of Kentucky. We have many jobs actually to share. So I'm just going to highlight two, and then I'll invite you to visit our UK jobs jobs webpage, I should say, and just use the search engine to search for specific jobs that you may be interested in. But today I'm just going to highlight an administrative assistant position and a certified medical assistant position, and I will have links to those jobs sent to you guys later in the newsletter also. So once again, those are just two jobs, but there are many more. Those are just two that we're going to highlight for this week, but there are many more that are not being shared. So please take out time. And also, of course, I speak about STEPS positions and temporary positions, but if you're interested in regular employment, feel free, of course, to visit our webpage, our HR employment webpage also. Okay, so UK Alumni Career Services, Queen-Ayanna actually mentioned this during her presentation. If you're interested in one-on-one counseling, or if you just need some help with your resume writing, any tips, interviewing, things like that, feel free to go online and register for that those one-on-one sessions with Queen or Carolyn, who is not with us today. She's on vacation, but she will be back, and you'll be able to meet with her also. So great way to get some of that one-on-one personal information and tips, things like that, to help you during your job search. Alrighty, and so let's just talk about next time on the Job Club before we all leave here, which will be on August 8th, and we'll be talking about interviewing is a two-way street. This is a very catchy heading right there. I like that. And so that'll be spearheaded by Tanisha Bowler, corporate recruitment partner, Malone Workforce Solutions. So feel free to scan the barcode there or click on the link at www.ukalumni.net/job club. Once again, thank you all for attending. Thank you again, Queen-Ayanna and Krista, for sharing those job leads. And we all can't wait to see you again at the next Job Club. Have a great day. Bye.